Hey, welcome back. We're back for episode 2 of Brian Duprey's Child Care Millionaire interview that I did with Brian. We're going to talk today about exit strategy. We're going to also talk about working with family. Some topics that touch both of our hearts. So hope you enjoyed first episode. If you haven't done it, we'll put maybe a card up here, a little link up here to get you back to that first episode. And we'll also put that in the description below. Make sure you watch that as well. This is a fantastic interview that I had. Almost spent an hour with Brian. Here we go. Child Care Millionaire, take 2.
Have an exit strategy. You know, an exit strategy as a business development consultant with a child care success company, that's one of your big strong points. That's where you focus on. Talk to us about that exit strategy.
Yeah, so everybody should have one. I mean, eventually we're all going to either die or sell our business or give it to our children. If we all have an exit strategy, some might not know what it is yet. So you're going to be exiting out. We're not going to be in childcare business forever. One way or another, you're getting out of it, either through your own way or through somebody else's way. My mission was to have it done my way. My children are actually my exit strategy. 2 of my adult children who've grown up in my business are taking over operations. They're slowly getting into ownership piece. That's my personal exit strategy. But what's yours? If you're listening to this, then what do you want to do? Do you want to sell it in 10 years? Do you want to sell it in 5 years? Do you want to turn it over to your kids? I've seen people take this thing, and work until their 80s and 90s. And then they drop dead, and there's nobody left to take over. And then it just goes, and then the center's done. So, what is your plan? Everybody should have an exit strategy.
You know, in that chapter, underneath Nugget 19, I had one of my daughters here. They just stopped in to say hello just a little bit ago, and I read this paragraph to her, and I'll paraphrase it for you, because I paraphrase it as "Hello, family." It says, if you do sell to a family member, make sure that person has worked in every position in your company for 2 to 3 years. They'll appreciate the sacrifices. This will show their commitment level. My daughters, you said, have done every job in our company for many years and worked at minimum wage. I gave no special treatment. And when I turned to my daughter, Taylor, and I said this, she goes, Dad, you're going to talk about me, aren't you? About how I said, I should be making more. Then I said, well, you might come up in conversation. But I had to look at the back to see who the author was, because you took it right from my heart. But so many of us do have this as a family business, and we aspire for, hopefully, maybe some of our children to work our way up. And so this really resonated with me, because I really believe that for my children to really appreciate, the abundance that this business can provide if run wisely, and efficiently, that you've got to start from the ground up.
If you ever want your kids to take over at a younger age, in their 20s, say, my kids are in their 20s and low 30s, then they haven't done that job, they're never going to get the respect of the staff. Right now, I have a daughter who's a director at a school, and she's 24, just turned 24. And she's a director and have people twice her age working for her. She's got the respect. You know why? Because she's done every job at the company. She's worked her way up. She's changed the diapers. She's worked and cut grass. She's done maintenance. She's did marketing. She's done everything there. So she has complete respect of the staff. My other daughter's an operations manager, same thing. She was a director. She was an executive director. She's done every job in the company for no special treatment. My daughter, Angel, who's a director, has got time off requests denied. She has to get in line. Everybody else, she's not been able to go on a family vacation with us because she didn't get it. We don't pull any special strings. An executive director doesn't treat her any different than any of our other staff members. And it was very important for me to never interfere in my kids' career pipeline. And that is why I have the respect of the staff members. And that's why my kids are going to be great owners someday, because they never were treated any differently. And they had to earn their way up. It's not working for daddy's company. It's working in a business that someday I'm going to have ownership in. And I tell you, if you do that, and I've seen the other way, Kirk. So I've seen it where, daddy buys the business, and they just come in there as an owner of this big franchise business, and they don't have the respect. They got this young owner, the staff doesn't respect them. They never changed the diaper. They've never had to make lunch. And all of a sudden they go in there and try to run it, and it just doesn't work. And we have to go in there and fix that with coaching. So my way does work. And if you want your kids to be involved, start them early. pay them. My kids started work. My daughter Angel started working at 4 years old. She started recording our commercials at 4 years old. She was doing our radio ads. She was the voice. Her name is Angel. My center's name Little Angels. We branded it around her, and she just grew up in the business.
Yeah.
And we paid her. She got paid, a nice salary every year. She worked, and she worked for every penny of it, and it made her appreciate it as well.
Well, yeah, and I can remember, I've got some images of my kiddos. When we opened up our center, they were 2, 4, and 5, and they were wiping down shelves right before kindergarten. And when they got into elementary school, I think they were making $2 or $3 an hour to come in and have some tasks, and they worked their way up to minimum wage.
Awesome.
Okay, so unscripted. Well, none of this is scripted, but let's say someone is watching this and they go, oh, I kind of did this a little bit wrong. I got it backwards. I'm upside down because I recognize that my kids do have special privilege. My staff know they have special privilege, and I'm guilty of giving them whatever they want off or overpaying them or what have you. Boy, resetting that button would be a little tough, wouldn't it?
It is, but everything, over time, things get changed. So you could always reset, but it'd be harder on your kids than it'll be the staff members. Sometimes when you get special privilege, it's hard to remove that. But it can be done. It just takes a little bit of time. Not going to do it in a year. It might take a couple of years, but just a slow transition.
Yeah.
The leadership on your team are the one that you need to convince. Your senior people are going to be the ones that are most resentful of a young whippersnapper coming up and being their boss. So they're the ones who have to be the most convincing. And if you change, they'll change. It just takes a little time.
Have you not subscribed yet? Would you hit that subscribe button and knock that bell over for me? That way you don't miss a single episode of all of our great content we're trying to bring you as an early childhood professional. Also, feel free to leave comments in the bottom. Love them. I'll respond to every comment that I hear on here. Thanks for watching and following.